In this video we're going to discuss overloading methods within your classes. Now, overloading is simply creating multiple methods that all have the same name but differ in the number and or type of parameters that are passed in. So what I've done was created a very simple example here to demonstrate this concept. I've created functions within our calculator class called add. There's one function called add, another function called add, and another function called add. Now, in Visual Basic 6.0 and earlier, you could not overload methods. But in VB.NET, what you can do is create one version of the add, which accepts two string parameters, as you can see here in the method signature. Then what we do is we convert whatever was passed in to the string to a long, and we convert the other value to a long, and we add the two together, and we return that value. We created a second method called add, which takes as the first value a string, but the second value is long. And then we create a third add that has as its first value a long, and as its second value a long. So no matter what's passed to our add function, as long as it meets one of those three types of adds, our add function will work. So notice here that what we've done was create a console application that has a submain. We create an instance of our calculator object, and then we're going to write to the debugger the ocalc.add method call, and the first time we pass in a string, the string 1 and the string 2. The second call on this next line, we pass in a string, but then we also pass in a long value. And then finally, on our third call to the add function, we type in two long values. So what will happen behind the scenes is that as we make this call, the .NET runtime will decide which of these three add methods to use given the type of data that is passed into it. And we better make sure that as we pass data in, that it matches at least one of these types. If not, we get an error. So what we're going to do is just put a breakpoint here, and we're going to step into the code and watch as it performs. So here we are in our console application. I'm going to move this off so you can see it. So we start in submain, and so the first add is called because we passed in the value 1 and the string value 2. Those are converted to longs and added together, and they're returned and then printed out to the debugger. And so we continue on, and finally the third add is called. Now, notice our output window. As the program is executed, these are the following values that are generated: 3, 7, and 11. The first add was called 1 plus 2. There's where our 3 comes from. 3 plus 4 generates the 7, and the 5 plus 6 generates the 11. So our application worked. We were able to demonstrate successfully how overloading methods works. Now, overloading is pretty important because you're going to use that on occasion whenever you want to support multiple interfaces to the clients of your objects, to give them optional ways to call a given method. And you're also going to note that within Visual Basic.NET, you're going to be able to overload the constructor. The next video is going to talk about constructors and destructors, and one of the things that you're going to be able to do with the constructors is pass in initial values in order to initialize that object that's just been instantiated. And so this is pretty valuable. You could not do this in Visual Basic 6.0. So we hope that you learned a little bit more about overloading methods and that it made sense to you and that you enjoyed this video. Thank you.